My 23F sister, 26F, told my mother, 46F, about my sex preferences, and now my husband, 24M, is livid. Today was my 23F birthday, which I spent with my family. We ate dinner, cake, and had a small gift opening. My mother handed me the gift her and my dad bought. It was 2 vinyls off for the albums Rebel Yell and Dr. Feelgood. I love these albums, but I've never talked about these albums or even listened to the genre around them. The only people who knew I liked these 2 albums were my husband, 24M, and my sister, 26F. For context, the albums both have songs that my husband and I play while we have sex. Rebel Yell and Kickstart My Heart. My sister and I are very close and we tell each other a lot, including some stuff about our sex lives. My first instinct was to look at my husband because he introduced to the 2 songs about 10 years ago, and his facial expression showed he seemed pretty pumped about the albums. I then looked at my sister, who was looking away and down. My mother told me my husband and I, could now listen to all of the songs on the album while we had sex. She's from Colombia and not antiquated with tech, so she doesn't know we can do that anyway. What my mom said was spoken in Spanish, and my husband, who is white and is a novice Spanish speaker, only understood sex, and his pumped expression vanished and he was mortified. We didn't say anything until we got in the car, where he became extremely upset. I told my parents about listening to the songs while having sex. I told him I only told my sister, who must have told them. But he didn't seem to care and was still pissed I told anyone. I asked my sister via text if she had, and she admitted she brought it up briefly. My husband said he's embarrassed and has chosen himself to sleep on the couch. He mentioned he's done with sex until he can trust me to not tell my family about it. What can I do to regain his trust? I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. This is what destroyed my marriage. My wife would share everything with her sister and her mom. If I tried something new, her mom and sister would make a comment about it a few days later. If my wife and I had a quickie, a few days later there would be a comment about not lasting long. After a while, I didn't want to have sex with my wife because anything I did I know would end up in their ears. Bottom line, how would you feel if your husband, BF, told their dad and brother how you give oral, how you look naked, how you ride, what you wore during sex? Now imagine your husband's, BF's dad and brother know those things. That's why he is upset. You need to remember when you are sharing private stuff to your sister that it's also your husband's private life. If you don't have permission to share it, then it's a betrayal and he has every right to be upset. Just your last line shows you don't understand just how much he was humiliated, and it's your actions now which shows if you can be trusted. What can I do to regain his trust? I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. I'm questioning your priorities right now, because getting to listen to the vinyl is hardly important. ATM. You shouldn't have shared those details. They were personal to you and your husband, and it's hardly surprising that he's mortified. Your sister and your mom were way out of line though. Stop discussing your sex life with people who not part of it. Stop telling your sister and your mom anything that requires discretion. You need to keep your mouth shut and keep intimate information between you and your husband. You also need to talk with your mom about how it's inappropriate to say things like this. She might be open about sex, but your husband isn't. Feels like an attempt to recreate that CBAT post that went viral. Giving a family member a vinyl to listen to while you have sex is just bizarre. You did this, not your sister. I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. This is the least of your worries. How do you regain your husband's trust? You apologize profusely. You promise never to say a word about your sex life to your mom or sister ever again. And keep that promise. You apologize profusely. Consider giving him a gift. Something you know he wants and will appreciate. Did I mention apologize profusely to him? You have a typo in your title. Let me fix it for you. #I-23F. Blab to my sister. 26F. All sorts of highly personal and intimate details about my sex life with my husband. 24M. And it's spread and now he's livid. Don't pretend this is something your sister did. It's something you did. What? I'm so confused. What kind of sexy time is that? Lol. I would also forget listening to those songs, albums during sex ever again. Maybe even music in general during sex ever again. How would you feel if your husband told his brother, who told his dad, that you like to listen to barnyard animal sounds during sex, and they bought him 2 albums worth? Would you not be embarrassed or angry he told someone something so private? I'm not sure antiquated means what you think it means. Other than that, stop blabbing specifics to your sister. She's a loudmouth. What can I do to regain his trust? I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. You need to demonstrate that you sincerely understand the problem here. In order to be trustworthy, you need to recognize that you have an issue with understanding and/or respecting boundaries. Did he provide consent to have the details of his sex life shared? You have to understand that you aren't just sharing your personal and private experiences. You're sharing his personal and private experiences. You need to understand that deeply. Convey to him that you understand it now, and give him concrete steps you will take to respect his boundaries. For example, I will not share information with others that includes you without being 100% sure you're okay with it. Another way to think about this would be, would my husband be willing to tell my sister this? If not, then neither should you. What can I do to regain his trust? I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. Seriously? You almost had me until that very last sentence. I don't know how you are supposed to take it when you realize your mill knows about some specific sex detail between you and your wife. All you can do is apologize and let your sister know how inappropriate that was. I would consider what you share from now on if she can't keep secrets, because this is a simple, intimate thing. Imagine if it was something really personal or embarrassing for your husband. Loose lips sink ships. Snitches get stitches. Motor mouths get kicked out of the house. Talk to your sis and mama. Don't get the chimichanga. Okay, that's all I got. Listen, you need to keep your sex life to yourself. Your sister has a big mouth and can't be trusted. Apologize to your husband and have a talk with your sister and mom. You know who you should talk about sex with? Your husband. You violated his trust in you. Stop telling your sister stuff about your marriage and maybe he will forgive you. You really fed up here. From his perspective, you violated his deepest trust and he doesn't know what all you have told your sister. It's a circular argument because he no longer trusts you, so he will never believe this is the only thing you've told your sister. Great way to ruin your marriage. Now every time those songs play, your husband will see his mother-in-law's face. They have been tainted and ruined by your big mouth. You really need to throw the records away and sincerely apologize to your husband. Plus promise that you will never discuss anything of the sort again with anyone. As a married man, I would be beyond pissed if I learned that my wife did anything like you did. It is a total violation of trust. I would be wondering what other juicy little tidbits you blabbed about my dick size, how long I last, if I am any good at oral. Why on earth would you discuss the intimate details of your private life with your sister? That is beyond creepy. You seem to be intentionally ignoring the part you played in this. You chose to tell someone outside of your marriage in intimate detail about your relationship. That's what your husband is upset about. He didn't consent for that information to be shared beyond the two of you. You need to understand that you created this situation. You need to acknowledge to your husband that you understand that, and reassure him that you won't share intimate details with anyone again. I really was looking forward to trying the vinyl. You have bigger problems. You have exposed his private moments without his consent. A better way to understand the indignation and humiliation he feels is to imagine if he talked about you during sex to his boys in typical locker room talk. How does it make you feel to know your most private, intimate moments are turned into gossip fodder to amuse some other guy? Now imagine that guy is so close to your husband that he's in close proximity to you often. Imagine that this person has been privy to your private moments every time they interacted with you. Now imagine this friend went on to blab to others. Now imagine how humiliated you would be to hear about your sex life third-hand from someone else in such a public fashion. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. You will have to start from scratch, if he's willing to let you.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.